She's known as the branding diva. So please help me welcome to the stage Miss Karen Post.
I got the brain tattoo blues. I wanna tattoo my brain, baby. Tattoo my brain all over you. Let the branding diva, baby, let her show you just what to do.
So is anyone feeling like they've got a case of the brain tattoo blues? No one's really paying attention. No one wants what you're selling. Maybe you're an agency and it's your next big idea. Maybe you're launching out a new product or a new retail concept. Well, branding is not an easy thing, but when it's done, it adds value to your offering. It can command a higher price. And most of all, it reduces the buyer's risk. Now, I love branding and I love retail, and it's been part of my whole life since I've ever been here. I started off in a stock room. I was the leader of the stock room. Then I became a visual merchandiser. Then I had an ad agency for 20 years. And now I get to travel all across the great world, spreading the good word of branding. Now, branding has been great to me. In fact, my business is doing so well that I even have my own company jet, Southwest Airlines. Now, if you're not from this area, you know this is a prize because you can count on them. They deliver their promise. They're distinct. They flew away from all the other airlines that continually lost money because they were brave and courageous and they know how to brand. Well, I was on this plane not too long ago, coming from Seattle, Washington. I did a presentation there, and I was going to my hometown, which is Tampa, Florida, right in the heart of most of the major hurricanes. And I was on this plane, sitting next to this lovely woman. She was my seatmate. She was sleeping until I accidentally spilled my cocktail on her. She woke up, and we started talking about everything important: the stock market, world peace, and the rising cost of Botox. So we are about to land, and she looks over at me and she says, "Karen, what do you do for a living?" And I said, "I'm a speaker and an author and a consultant in the area of branding." She says, "No." I said, "Yes." She said, "That is such a coincidence. That is what my boss has been doing for 25 years. What kind of cattle do you have?" True story. And this woman said she went to college. So I know there's some confusion about what the brand is. I said, well, Millie, you've heard of Nike, just do it. Verizon, can you hear me now? Enron, boy, did we mess up. She said, oh, I get it. You must do logos and taglines. That's what commercial branding is. Well, I explained to her, no, Millie, that is not what commercial branding is. Those are tiny, tiny pieces of what the brand is. The brand is what your market thinks when they see your truck driving by. The brand is what they feel when they pull out that insert from their daily newspaper with your brand on it. And the brand is what they expect when they have selected you over one of your competing brands. The brand is the sum of everything you do. So today, as we talk about branding better and brain tattooing, I want you to understand the concept of every time you do something positive, it adds a little ink to the brain tattoo. And every time your brand does something annoying, it fades the bright color away. Now, when I speak about branding, people assume it's products on a shelf or it's a big company. But there are so many opportunities within your organizations to brand. Yes, there's the big brand, and yes, there's products, but there's services that you can brand, and there's processes that you can brand. There's ingredients, there's events, there's collections of products within your brand that you can brand. And most of all, because you are leading the change and the transformation of branding, there is your brand. Every one of you is a brand. So everything that we talk about today, you can apply to anything that you are going to brand. Because remember, a brand adds value and it reduces the buyer's risk. So if you're working within your organization and you're having a hard idea selling your new ideas, maybe you need to work on your brand. Now, I believe there are 4 major components to any brand. And the first one, which some of the other speakers have also addressed, is a clear purpose. You have to know, why are you here? What are you doing? What do you add to society that is making it better? What is your point of difference? Now, if anyone says your point of difference is your product quality, I'm going to start to scream. If you say that it is your customer service, I'm going to scream louder. Those are not points of differences. People, the market expects those. Everybody says that. A point of difference is something that cannot easily be copied, something that you own, that becomes the foundation for your brand. A brand has human-like characteristics and attributes. Think of your brand as it were a person. If you were going to introduce John to Sue, you would not say John has 2 arms and 2 legs and some gray hair. You would say John is hot, sexy, he's smart, he moves quickly, he has a great sense of humor. So you've got to be able to describe your brand as it were a human. And the final piece to the brand essence is the promise. Now, a promise is not about logical features. A promise is about emotional connectivity. A CPA does not promise to do your taxes. They promise to do a good job so that you get to keep more of your money and enjoy your life. A fashion boutique does not sell warmth and shelter in their clothing. They sell self-esteem. They sell feeling good about yourself. Those are brand promises. So let's talk about some companies that do a good job and they get the essence of the brand. The Container Store, clearly defined. You walk in the store, you know that they provide more time, they give you more space because of their cool products, their selection. Now, many analysts have watched this company grow, privately held company in Texas, and they say that they take some of their best customers and they turn them into the most highest performing employees. That is how they have built their company, because they have defined this brand, and from the time you apply for a job and you go work for the company, the brand is part of that communication. This company invests over 275 hours the first year in training of their full-time employees, which includes understanding the brand. The average retailer invests 7 hours per employee. The Container Store has a 10% turnover rate on full-time employees. The average retailer, 70%. Drive distinction through every touch point. 2 extreme examples. Smart Chicken, a product. It's the intelligent choice. It's their point of difference. There's lots of chicken. The company even gives it an MBA degree. The founder of the company has 3 kids, Mark, Brian, and Ann. That's where they got the MBA. Target, one of the most brilliant brands of all time. They were not afraid to be different. They carved out the connection with their market by being hip, by presenting style, by taking design to a new level. These are clearly points of difference. If you took either one of these companies, a piece of their collateral, and you covered up the logo, you would know who the brand is. Can you do that with your company? Or if you cover up the logo, does it look like one of your competitors? Humanize your brand with personality. Monster.com is one of my favorites. For years, they competed in a space that there was a slew of companies that provided recruitment, personnel services. But they infused an attitude and a personality. They took a scary emotional time in one's life. Either you hate your job or you just lost your job. They turned it upside down. This company is about confidence, and that the next job that they connect you to is your big day. It's when your life really begins. It's all about the personality in the brand. This company, Mental Floss, there's lots of magazines to read. It's a tough category. This is an intellectual, witty company. Their promise is they will make you feel smart again. Now, while many companies have swimsuit editions, they elected to feature geniuses. This is Einstein in a bathing suit. What a hot guy. To extend their promise of feeling smart, they have Freudian slippers. They have Mental Floss, a trivia game, and they even have a new book that is condensed knowledge. So once you have created the architecture for your brand, everything that you do needs to touch those 4 pieces so that you know it's on brand. And many times there are brands, and you get a new ad agency, you get a new CMO, you get a new CEO, and suddenly they have to prove themselves with some new big ideas, and they lose sight of the core, the DNA of their brand. So as you build your brand, I suggest you tattoo test. And while I believe that there is a big role with traditional research, I think in branding, the most important research and customer insight is observing your buyers. Hang out with them, hang out in airports. I learned some of the best things by hanging out in airports, and I spend a lot of time there. In malls, in movie theaters, create an advisory board of your market. If it's senior citizens or it's toddlers or whatever it is, and create some sort of a laboratory where you watch and listen to them. When you do a focus group, yes, you're going to elicit some good ideas, but people have the pressure of the other people in the group, and sometimes they're not really going to tell you what they think. So just make sure that you mix up all of your tattoo testing. So as you look to transform your brand, whether it's your company or it's yourself, because you got to do some big change, ask yourself, is your essence crystal clear? And is it clear to the entire universe, not just your buyers, but your employees? And if you're a public company, your stakeholders, or with your financial resources?